get into here. These knocked out. Well, looks like didn't I must have skipped over that one, but looks like Pixie is back. It's another recovery Astromon. It's not one that I've used. Not saying that she can't, but one that I have only in my storage. Again, I haven't pulled, really used her in any content. That's again where, Hanahime for me, because I've had Hanahime light for a while, so that's definitely where she has kind of filled that gap. But once again, doesn't mean that if you don't have another recovery Astromon, again going over a little bit of Baby Shark too, how Baby Shark specifically is a recovery Astromon that you can at least put onto your team, so it's better than nothing, and whatnot. Yeah, the quality of these rewards has definitely been better. Oh, look at that! Getting a super stone out of that. That's 100%. That's 100% definitely an increase on the Apex battle stuff. So I will take that. That one was kind of surprising. I'm not gonna lie. So. Do you there to that. Whoops, we need the gem. Work on that one. Yeah, we'll also double check too once we jump out here. Jump out and see. Oh, 4-star. Wow. 4-star succubus variant, huh? Alright, game. And it's level 5, dang. Alright, I see what you're doing. Let's see here. Let's go out there. Oh, actually, I want to double check one thing before we do the rest of these. Let's grab... Yeah, I know I've received rewards. Let's double check fire. Because I was capturing when I was getting gems. Let's take a gander, shall we? What else do we have here? Are you? Wow, you really are summoned. I think you were summoned as well. That's correct. Cottony was summoned. Yep. We got one of you. Yep. Fire Chirple is still there. Interesting. Wow, so we've covered all the fire 2-stars that we can get for the time being. So there we go. That's all done for that. And we've got a bunch of these already done. We will be finishing these 2 off. I'm actually going to get a bunch of these 3-stars done. Definitely. Might not be... It'll depend on how I need to clean out my inventory. But since we're now got a Primo... We don't have a Primo Festival coming out. Actually, no, I didn't want to get out of that. So we'll move on to water. Let's see what we got. I know we're going to have something in here to capture. Well, that's something I want to bring up to as far as like the Primo Festival and talking in the comment the other day about it specifically. The only thing that really would solve the issue, again with spending any gems, is if they run these Primo Festivals for these Astromon. If they run them more consistently than what they have been doing, that would be the only problem solving that I could see they run with, because that then gives you more opportunities to then spend your gems to get the Primo Egg, to get specifically the light and the dark out of that, because that's that's the really the rare part, right? Having the 3 chances, and I already made mention of that. Having the 3 chances is, you know, to them maybe that is enough, but to me that's just one of those things where I'm like, no, that's not because of what just happened, right? We saved up 24,000 gems, you spend it, and you get jack diddly squat as far as a light and a dark is, and that's again that is the nature of these games. I'm not 100% don't want to sound like I'm asking to be handed to it, but at the same point, too, the amount of time that you spend saving up as a free-to-play player just to have that opportunity, right? We've been doing that for this is the end of June, right? And the last Primo Festival I did at the end of January. So we've been doing this a good 5 months. Now I haven't been diligent doing gems. I have not been sliming every week like you definitely could, right? Because you can cut down the time on that. But the frequency of these rebirth festivals, I think, is another thing that can definitely be increased. There's no reason in my mind really not to have a 5-star rebirth festival, because again, you can go into the gameplay loop and the business side of this, right? And you're incentivizing people then to be pulling 5 stars and getting rid of the 5 stars they don't need into these rebirth festivals, giving them chances to get, all this other stuff, right? So it all feeds into itself. And it's again why, I've talked about this too, about the 5-star rebirth festivals that we have regardless outside of outside of these Primo festivals, is that they already had this system in place where you could be getting, new 5 stars. They could have just added to that. And it still, again, incentivizes trying to get, trying to get 5 stars out of pulls to then feed into these rebirth festivals. And like I said, that's a gameplay loop that you could easily that the developers could exploit, right? And so that's generating, again, people trying to get gems and feeding into it. So it all would work out, but the lack of, and I hate to say caring, but the lack of thought process going into, all right, we need to add more people to this 5-star rebirth festival, and that just fizzled out. Because like I said, I think we only have 3 or 4 5-star Astromon in that rebirth cycle on the summoning block, and that's Drakar. We've seen Sparkit, or I don't think Sparkit's a 4-star. There is a specialty. There's a 5-star. I'm forgetting. But then you have Griffin, I think, was added, and I can't remember the 4th to save my life right now. I know there was probably a 4th rebirth Astromon 5-star specifically, right? But that's been dead for, that's like I said, nothing new was ever added to that, right? We don't have a Persephone, for instance, right? We don't have a Persephone rebirth festival. We don't have that, and that goes back to, well, they have those banners. So while you're summoning that, it's like, no, at this point you have too many 5 stars. Those banners, having that increased probability doesn't help. Let's be real here. If you pull on those banners and you're lucky enough to get your other Valkyrie, and what I say, good for you, but the odds are so low at this point from all the 5 stars, even though those are supposed to have a higher chance, right? The odds are just stacked against you. That's how it is. And so if you're going to add, in my opinion, if you add this stuff, right? And again, I'm for the Primo festivals. I like that idea of, these are kind of guaranteeing you getting these new 5 stars. And going back to the whole thing I like to preach a little bit is, newer players, these are gems that you save up, and these at least give you the pity eggs. At 150 summons, you can at least get one of the 5 stars, right? The pity eggs are a good way of doing that. And as you saw what my luck turned out, I'd have to go rewatch the video myself and see how many of Acer I pulled before the 150 egg, and I think there was only 1, maybe 2 before I got my first pity egg, right? So still having that chance, but also, again, these Primo festivals, I 100% agree, just you need to remove every other Astromon and treat it like a rebirth festival, which that is the only one you get, period. Diluting the pool with everything else is just ridiculous, in my opinion. So But again, there are just ways that if they'd like just listen to that, that they'd still. I'm actually gonna save this one because I'm gonna do Apex battles after that. But like they'd still be making, you still can make money off of everything in the game, right? It's not a lost cause in my opinion. So I don't know. It's just thoughts more of my thoughts on the Primo Festival. And again, I'm for it. I like it. It was a good idea. It's something that needs to be tweaked, and it needs to be tweaked now and not in 2 years when no one cares. And they've added another banner of another festival to summon, anything else, right? Because this is just a slow drip. They're following that formula of a slow, a drip feed of content to us. That's really what this boils down to. And again, I don't have a problem with that, but just it seems like systems are just being thrown at us to test to see what works and what doesn't, and it follows almost a little bit like how Game Freak and Pokemon is. Like, they come out with these great ideas sometimes they've done in past generations, and people loved it, and they're like, oh, and it's like they check it box. It's a check box. They're like, oh, people like this, and we'll shelve it, and we'll never bring it back. But it's there in case we need it, right? It's there in case we need to make sales happen. We can pull that off the shelf because we know people will like it. And I really hate that kind of mindset, because that's not making the game, entertainment. And at the end of the day, this is a game, right? that's how I will always look at this kind of stuff. So let's check Apex battles really quick. I want to see what my first battle is. Oh man. Well, that's just gonna be that. So again, I talked about auto battle, right? Auto battling for me is for those lower battles. Like, I don't know if what they are saying, like, this fixed it. Well, I'm now back to fighting lower levels, so it is what it is. But yeah, and I've already got my rewards for the week, but thanks for. That's going to get annoying. $5 says that gets patched out, or that gets like updated in a little bit in a maintenance in this week or next. But I'll finish out this energy. I'm going to go do those Apex battles, which will clean this out. So I'm not going to record that for today. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you all in tomorrow's daily.